Welcome back to week 4, and in video 2 I'm going to give you a tour of a topographic map. So we're kind of continuing on with the second bullet here. So I'm going to show you where you find the name and date, where the north arrow is, where the scale bars are, latitude, longitude, contour lines, that kind of stuff. So the map that I'm using, you can download the same one. You can download the one for your town or someplace you want to visit by going to usgs.gov, and then if you click on the download or buy maps link here, you can type in the location that you want. So I know I want to get a map of Lake Oswego, and then search for it, and then it brings it up for me right here. And then you can click on it and download that map. Now, you can also purchase a paper copy, but downloading it is free. It does take a really long time, however, to download a map. So I suggest if you do this, you do it with a really good internet connection. So I've already done this to kind of save you guys. And this is a picture of the PDF of this topo map, and so it's a little fuzzy, I know, but what I wanted to do is kind of highlight a few things for you before I zoom in. So this is the map area in the very center, the colored portion, and then on this map we've got two spots where we've got in the top corner the name of the map, and the name of the map can also be found down here as well. The location in the state of Oregon. The scale bars in the very center. The north arrows are right over on the other kind of middle right or middle left section, and then a description of the map. And then on the edges are where we're going to find your latitude and longitude. So let's zoom in down here on the actual map. So I've zoomed in on the name in the lower right hand corner. You can see Lake Oswego, Oregon, and then it gives some dates here, which if I zoom in a little bit more, we can see the map was made in 1961, and then you see in purple, photo revised in 1984. And then if we look at this map up here, you can kind of tell there's some purple stuff. These are all houses and roads in this part of the map that have been added, and that anything in purple on this map has been added in 1984 to the 1961 map. Sometimes it's easier just to add stuff. Sometimes they completely republish the map. That kind of depends on how many changes have happened on the map. And so it gives you kind of a brief overview of some road classifications, tells you here's the state of Oregon and where the map is in the state. If I scroll over to the center of the map, here's our scale. Tells you the ratio scale, 1 to 24,000. And then we have 3 bar scales in miles, feet, and kilometers. And those are to use directly off of the map. And then it tells you what the contour interval is, 10 feet. And then some other information. And if I keep scrolling over to the right, or to the left, sorry, we see the north arrows. The star is your true north, GN is grid north, it's very similar to true north, and then magnetic north. Now this magnetic north is as of 1961. So if you were to Google the declination for Portland, you'd see that it has changed. It's no longer 20 degrees. So it's a very important thing to look for. And then over here we've got some information about how the map was made and kind of what was used to make that map. So if I scroll up a little bit here so we can see a part of this map, what we see on this map, if we look here at the bottom, we've got 122 degrees, 45 minutes, and then we see this red lettering R1W, R1E, and then we see this little blue tick mark and this number 5, small little tiny 5, and then a big 2-1. These 3 different things are the 3 different coordinate systems on a map. The little 5, big 2-1 is what's called UTM. We're not going to use that, so you can ignore those numbers. The red stuff, the R1 west, R 1E, and on the map we see these red lines on the map and these boxes, and then the number 20. That's all township and range, and you can ignore that too. If you want to learn more about those, you can ask me in lab and I can show you some stuff, but we are only going to focus on latitude and longitude in this course. So the latitude and longitude on the map is all going to be written in this font here, this 122 degrees 45 minutes. And then if we kind of move along the bottom of the map here, I see the township and range, see the UTM, I see UTM, I see some other information, and then, oh look, I have 44 minutes 30 seconds. So what, 42 minutes 30 seconds. So what they've done here is they've dropped that 122 degrees from the front of this number. So anything with this font is going to be your latitude or longitude. If I keep moving across the bottom, I see, oh, there's 40 minutes, same kind of font. Keep going across the bottom, and then again at the other side, I've got 122 degrees, 37 minutes, 30 seconds. And that is going to be the longitude. So the longitude lines are running north-south, and where they intersect the edge of the map, you're going to see the number. So how about our latitude? Well, our latitude is going to be this 45, 22, 30, and if I scroll up for a while, oh, there's a 25. They've dropped the 45 degrees. Keep going further up, and I see there's 27 minutes 30 seconds. They've dropped the 45 degrees again, and this is latitude. The line's running east-west, and then you're given the information where that latitude line intersects the edge of the map, and then up to the top, and there it is again. And then here's the other map at the top. The name, Lake Oswego Quadrangle, 7.5 minute series, so that's telling you is covering 7.5 minutes of latitude and longitude. And the other question is, oh, let's zoom in a little bit further there. Why the heck is this map not square if it's covering the same amount of latitude as longitude? That's an interesting question. Helps to look at the globe for this, so maybe we'll pull one out in lab if you have questions about that. So that's a tour of this map. Let's zoom in a little bit here some more and check out these topo lines. So here I've got in this section of the map, you can see roads on here, you can see houses, greens, trees, and then here is one of these bold lines that has an elevation on it. If you follow it up here or down, depending on which way we're going, follow it around, oh, I see barely, maybe that's a 300. Let's keep going up and see. Here's another index, oh, 350, another index, 400. So that tells me we're going uphill in this section. And then over here, here's a stream bed. And what we notice in that stream bed is the contour lines tend to V and point upstream where the river is flowing from. And that's because that river is eroding along the base of that stream and causing it to kind of have a slightly different elevation. So if you were to walk straight across this river, you're going to have to go down and then back up again. That kind of makes sense when you're looking at your map and what we would see out in the real world. Alright, so that's our overview, our tour of topographic maps. We'll come back and talk about Google Earth.